I'm Mike Nelson with Spyder Extras. Today, Keith and Justin will be installing one of our trunk racks and trunk lift kits on our new 2024 Sea to Sky RT Spyder. We have trunk racks and lift kits for all F3 and RT models. All right, guys, let's get started.
Hello everyone, we're going to be installing the SF3 RT rack today. We've got two separate options. We've got a smaller rack and a larger rack. Today we're going to be installing the smaller rack on our bike. First thing I want to go over is these faces right here are tapered. The smaller taper to go towards the rack and the bigger taper will go towards the trunk itself. And I've already put these in here and put them on there like that to make a quicker install. Today, the tools that we're going to be using is going to be a ratchet with a 7/16 socket. We're going to be using a 4mm Allen wrench. And we're going to have a 9/64 pilot hole drill bit. And then we will drill a hole with a 1/4" drill bit. With the anti-seize here, we will put anti-seize on the bolts so they don't gall up when you start tightening the nut on there. So I guess let's get started on the install. The first thing we're going to do is go ahead and pop our trunk, and wanting to show you all some dimples. They're pre-drill marks, and we've got them with the black, and we're gonna go ahead and take our pilot drill bit and go ahead and drill the hole. This is always the scary part. After we get the pilot hose drilled, we're gonna get the 1/4" bit and continue to drill the hose.
Nice. Wow.
Next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and grab our rack, and what we'll do is pull this down. I like putting the top 2 bolts in first, and then easing them down so you don't scratch none of your trunk. The next thing we'll do is go ahead and grab our washers and our nuts to tighten it up. We're gonna go ahead and open it up. But before we put the washers and nuts on, this is important information. You want to take your anti-seize and put it on these stainless steel bolts. These stainless steel bolts will gall up when you still go to tighten. It don't take much. Just a little bit. And then, of course, push your washer, then your nut on. Before we tighten these nuts up, let me explain the anti-seize. Per our instructions, you need to put anti-seize on all the bolts, stainless steel bolts. Once you start tightening the bolts up, they tend to gall up or just get stuck or seize up on you right there. So now we're going to take our 7/16 socket and our 4mm Allen wrench and go ahead and tighten these bolts up. As we're tightening the bolts up, what you want to pay attention to is your rubber spacer. As you tighten the rubber spacer down, you want it to swell out a little bit, but you want to tighten evenly up on all of them so you get the good even tighten on everything. One easy way to do that is just tighten it till your rubber barely touches your top of your trunk on all of them. Then you can go back and swell the rubber out on all of them. That'll be the easiest way to let you know about flame resistance on all of it. Then once you got it to the trunk, I'm gonna pull it down a little bit. Then you'll wanna watch your rubber swell out there a little bit. You can even count your turns and do all of them the same turn, which I'm doing 2 turns. They all look the same. So with that, you can shut. We have 2 carbon fiber sticky back that we put on there to cover the bolts up. I use a knife to peel the back off of it. That's the only way I can get the back off of them. What we're wanting to do is take the angle and put it on the proper angle on the rack. You start at the lower point in the center. You'll just line it right up and push it down. Now that we've installed our rack, we're going to install our trunk lift kit, which is designed to hold the trunk up with 10 pounds. Now the first thing we want to do is get our T20, and we're going to take these 2 bolts we've got down here out. What this does is allow you to take your back seat off, which Justin will show you.
Okay, and right here, there'll be 2 bolts back here on the back. There'll be a 4mm Allen wrench. Sometimes these will be hard to take off, which they'll have some Loctite in there. They'll pop, but once they pop, they'll come right out.
Once he gets it out and he starts to put his new bolts back in, there's liable to be some Loctite in there. You may have to take a 6mm by 1 tap, and you can tap in there, and then you can put your screws right back in with ease.
Okay, we're gonna replace these factory bolts with new bolts that we supply for it. Okay, now we're gonna put the lift kit bracket on there. Once you get them snugged up there, just give it a little snug twist on it. Okay, that's installed.
After we install the upper bracket, we're gonna go to the lower bracket, and it's gonna take a template. And I just wanna make sure that you look on the instruction sheets on the template, because the USB, the upper USB and the lower USB is gonna determine which template you're gonna use. And the upper USB will use the template that's gonna go down inside the trunk. The lower USB is going to use the template that'll go above the trunk. So now, with that said, we're going to go ahead and start with the upper. This has got the upper USB, so we're going to take the template, place it at the back side, and get it center. Go ahead and take my drill. We'll drill my holes, which ours was already pre-drilled. So, and once you take your template, you're done with your template. And we'll go ahead and start with our lower bracket, putting it on. It comes with 2 bolts and 2 nuts. It will be a 3mm Allen wrench and a 3/8 socket on the back side. You'll take the bracket and just slide it up. I start with my top hole first. I have to rim it just a little bit. Second one. Okay, we got that. I'll take my 3mm Allen and just tighten it up.
I have to lower that trunk down just a little bit, Keith. Just give it a little snug when you get to the bottom there. Okay, that's good, Keith, here.
After we install our lower bracket and get everything tightened up, we're ready to put our gas spring on there. With this, you'll have to take the retainer clips and push them up. After we pop our retainer clips up, we're ready to put our gas spring on our lower and upper bracket. The cylinder part will go to the top of the bracket, and you'll just press that on there. As soon as you press that on, you just slide this retainer clip back down into place. Sometimes they're hard, sometimes they're simple. And the same thing down at the lower bracket. After you install the gas spring here, we're going to go ahead and adjust these trunk pins right here so they properly line up when you shut the trunk. You'll need your pin puller, and you got 2 pins you can pull. Once you pull those pins, you can just easily pull that out. We're gonna come in and adjust the pins for the trunk to line in correctly. You'll need to take an 8mm, and there's just some nuts on the bottom side of these pins. You gotta loosen it up just enough to move it back, and then just tighten it right back up. Once your pins are loose, now you can go ahead and drop your trunk. As you drop your trunk, to set it in place, kind of give it a little pressure towards the back, and it'll shut into place. Once it shuts, you can go ahead and tighten your nuts underneath. When you go to open it, you can go ahead and install your light back up here. You got 2 clips down here that will fit right there, and then you can just kind of push it right on there. Take your push pins, push them back in. And the next step we're gonna do is go ahead and install the back seat where we took the 2 screws out.
Okay, now installing the back seat, there's 2 clips right here. You're just gonna go right back in these 2 holes right here on the back of the seat. You just get them lined up as best as you can, and it should pop right into place, just like that.
Next thing we're gonna do after the seat got on is go ahead and put the screws in and hold the seat on. It will take a star 20 bit. Now that we've got the screws put in, the back seat secured to the back, now we've installed the trunk lift kit. As we showed in previous videos before, our trunk lift system will hold up to 10 pounds. Now that it's installed, you're ready to ride.
Thank you so much for watching today. We ask that you please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Visit our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And don't forget to check out SpyderExtras.com for all your Spyder and Ryker accessories. Thank you so much for watching.